Hi, Marisol. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, thanks again for making the time to join me this morning to talk about how you are coming along during this uncertain time of uncertainty. That's really what I wanted to say. So, everyone, I'm here with Marisol Graham. She is the principal of Baxter-Graham Design, and I am really thrilled to have a conversation with her today because she recently launched a new set of handbags. I was about to say purse, and she corrected me the last time. And so today I'm going to say it correctly. She's a designer of handbags. But not only is she a designer of handbags, she's also an entrepreneur with many successful endeavors. So, without any further ado, let me bring on Marisol.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Marisol. So let's get started with the conversation on the handbags.
Okay.
And you were saying before that there are many ways to define bags, correct? It's not purses. Is that more of a southern?
It
Uh,
is the purse is definitely a very southern thing. Like last time we talked and everything, I was telling you that here in Texas, anything you carry is called a purse. If it's a clutch, which you just clutch it with your hand, we call it a purse. Oh, there's your purse, hon. If it's a long strap on it and we have it on our shoulder, it's technically kind of a handbag or a shoulder bag. And oh, there's your purse, hon. you know, um, no matter like how it is, even if it's a crossbody, which goes across your body, we refer to it as our purse. And and I didn't even really find out that there was so many different definitions of what you carry until I started this endeavor. And just like with anybody that's out there, whenever you start thinking about something in your head and you start thinking, hey, I think I might want to do that as a business, we're at our jobs and we're sitting there going, man, this does not fulfill me and I want to do something else. And we Google. And so I Googled, how to put your artwork onto, and I put purse onto a purse. And along with like all of these websites where you can put your artwork onto something, a tote bag, whatever, there was a definition of different handbags. And for me, I'm like, what is that? And so of course I clicked it, and then that's how I found out all these little different things are not referred to as a purse, that they're referred to as different stuff. And in fact, what a purse actually technically is it's your little coin purse. It's like this little tiny thing that and that's what the purse is in all reality. And I had no clue.
you
So,
know, on that note, I'm sure there is a long history on purses and handbags and its evolution. It's,
yes.
in the fashion industry,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So that would be an interesting conversation to get into the history of handbags and how they evolved over time and
Oh
how
yeah.
they impact us. Now we have man bags, or what do you call it for men? Um,
Well, some men refer to it as a satchel. Very few refer to it as a man bag.
yeah,
um, which is kind of strange. Only because now with our day and age, um, so many people are so open-minded, and I love it. I love it, and kind of want to be outside of labels and everything. And so, but from when I was younger, and believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize this. I'm an old woman. In technical terms, I'm reaching 50. But when I was much younger,
Mhm.
when I was much younger, and the world was a little bit different then, and many people were labeled, and for everyone it was so scary being outside of a label. And this all goes with the whole satchel man bag thing. Well, I don't want to call it a man bag because I'm a man, but how are you going to carry your stuff? And I don't see what's the big deal about just referring to it as a man bag.
Yeah,
Because
it's functional.
yeah, it's a functional thing. Yeah. and
Yeah.
and in fact, with the series of handbags and designs that I say we, because my son's is still very much involved in a lot of the design process of it. We actually are going to also move to more functional items, such as backpacks. I actually want to look into camera bags because I understand. I spoke to a friend of mine who's a photographer. I spoke to two photographers, the photographer who did our photo shoot, and then of course my friend who's also a photographer. And my friend who's a photographer, she had told me that a lot of photographers need to just disappear in the background, which is why they always wear black, and their camera bags are black and so forth. But for me, I'm like, well, what about those people who are not professional photographers and they did get a nice camera though, and they just want something cute, for when they go take little photos, with their friends for their Instagram, for whatever, and they're not really wanting to blend into the background. And so part of me is like, I Googled and there's not a lot of really cute, interesting camera bags. So that's probably something that we're going to do in the future as well, and talking to the photographer who did our photo shoot, she was on board with it too. She was like, yeah, I looked for something cute, and she says, and I had a hard time really finding something that resonated with her.
Her style and brand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that this venture even started, well, originally what we were designing is we were designing our home decor, our children's decor, and of course children's loveys. And it started off as something that my son and I could do together, because he's very artistic as well. And I think when I spoke to you last time, what I said in regards to our company is more of an art house, whereas what we like is to see our art onto functional items, things in our home. We wanted to be surrounded by it. It was my husband who kind of put it into my head that maybe other people would want it. And so that's how we had started to sell it. And we had been selling our home decor. And then as my son got older, he got a little less interested in making the loveys. And so with him being less interested in it, then all of a sudden I had to reevaluate, well, what does mom like? And so for me, I'm like, well, I like handbags, I like, purses, I like backpacks.
Accessories. Mm-hmm.
Accessories, things like that. And so I wanted to see what my artwork would look like on a handbag. Found a company, put my artwork on it. The company had said that they would print it to leather. I ended up spending over $100 on this handbag, and it came in, and I was extremely upset because only the sides were leather, but the part that had my artwork on it was nylon.
Oh.
Yeah, and so again, very upset about it because I thought I was paying for leather. Went to their website, like, did I miss something? Obviously, I must have missed something. I couldn't find it, but I must have missed something in regards to the description. So my husband again, sitting there, and I'm kind of like upset about my handbag and everything. My artwork looked good on it, but I was upset about the handbag. And looked at me and said, make your own. And I was like, excuse me, I don't want like a fabric bag. And he's like, I didn't say fabric. He goes, you want your stuff printed to leather. Don't you have a company that prints to leather? Oh, yeah, I do. And he's like, print it to leather, make your own. And so I kind of went from there. Okay, well, how do I do this? And that's how it came about. It was a lot of searching. It was a lot of learning. I say a lot. I'm so sorry. but it was. I found a company that printed to leather. I like vegan leather. I don't like actual leather.
It's not. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so again, my handbags will be printed to vegan leather. Those who refer to leather, like having handbags that are made out of leather, good for you. I'm very happy for you. I may not be the handbag for you because my designs will be printed to vegan leather. It's just what I prefer. I have a very soft heart. And so it's just something about me. But then I found out that in order to get my handbag manufactured, finding a manufacturer, a lot of them had a minimum of 100 bags in order to manufacture. Well, 100 bags, investment-wise, is you're investing close to anywhere between $15,000 to $30,000, possibly even $50,000, depending on the complexity of your bag. And that's a huge investment when you're not even really sure if your bag's going to sell. You know, you believe in yourself, but, you know, as an artist, it may not resonate with everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, talking, researching Instagram tags. It was the Instagram tags that made me find these people. I found a company in New Jersey that will do single samples for you. Single samples for you to take to a retail show, to find investors, to find companies that want to, you know, offer your product in their stores. And you're not having to do this large, expensive investment of, you know, 100 handbags that may end up sitting in your warehouse if you're not able to sell them. And I'm still so thankful for them, because Leatherworks by Arturo, that's who I found. And I'm telling everyone this because I want them to stay in business, you know? And so if you have a handbag design, I suggest you talk to them, go with them. They do very, very nice design work. They answered every single question I had, because as a novice, and I am a novice to this, every single question they answered. I had no idea that when I send my design to them, it was not, oh, here's my design. Here, I'm going to send you the vegan leather with my artwork printed on it. Make me a bag. No, I had to tell them all the measurements of the bag. And in fact, I have a bag here. So I had to tell them, sorry.
Oh, nice.
I had to tell them how tall, how wide, how thick, if I wanted a D-ring for a crossbody, what kind of zipper,
Lot of details.
These to look when the handles are connected to the bag,
Mm-hmm.
what style of ring to connect the handle, what style of handle do I want, because there's so many different handles. I needed to tell them the drop from here to here.
Okay.
I needed to tell them, and not only that, I told them if I wanted brass feet on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I also needed to tell them in regards to, like, was this part of the printed design, or was this a strip of leather, or not vegan leather, that I wanted them to have on there. And you will have to provide all of these things to them, including you have to find a company that provides the rings. You have to find a company that provides the zippers to provide this.
That's quite a supply chain that you have to create, right?
Oh, yeah. And I had to tell them
together
how long I wanted the crossbody strap to be. I had to tell them how many pockets do I want inside. I'm trying to pull, I have it stuffed with tissue so it doesn't lose its look. But I had to tell them what size pockets on the inside pockets that I wanted them to be. I had to let them know, I had to provide them the material that's inside.
The interior, the fabric for that.
Everything.
I have a question on that then. Does that mean do they give you a cheat sheet, some kind of a list?
No.
No. You
No.
just kind of bring it.
I sent a sketch, and I don't know if I have the sketch here, but I sent them just like a rough, here, I'll use this as a sketch. I sent them like a little sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Wow.
And when I sent my rough little sketch, then Christina, the COO, she's the one who called me and was on the phone, and she's like, okay, we have questions in regards to your sketch. Oh, okay, great. What's your questions? Right? And then that's when it's, how long do you want the handles? How do you want this to be? How do you, oh, okay.
Wow. So I'm surprised that they don't offer a list of questions for, you know, the entrepreneur to.
Well, I honestly think what it is that they usually deal with designers who have gone to design school.
Mm-hmm.
These are things you learn in design school. And so more than likely, as we're working with those designers, they probably already know, you know, hey,
sure.
I got to them
you actually think through that, mocking one up during class.
Yes.
Design program,
and have probably sewn their own. So when I found all of that out, then it was me, like, with a tape measure and everything, trying to figure it all out. And so what eventually I did send to them is I ended up sending them schematics
Wow.
after I figured everything out, and which of course helped more. And then as you can see, first what they do after they do that is they'll send up a mock-up, and the mock-up doesn't have any material. It'll be whatever they have there, and they'll make a mock-up and they'll send it to you. And then with the mock-up, what you do is you'll take a Sharpie, and if something doesn't look right, if you don't like the drop, you want the measurement to go a little bit shorter or longer, etc., you're going to write it with a Sharpie on that mock-up. And same thing, like my first one that came in, I didn't like the way the zipper was sewn into the bag. And what I wanted, and it was for this bag.
Wow.
And so what I wanted is I wanted the zipper sewn in all the way around. I didn't want it hanging out. I didn't want any of that. I wanted it completely sewn in. So I had to write it on the bag, sew my zipper all the way in. And even with that, when you know, I let them know I want it sewn in, then it was, okay, how do you want it sewn in? What? Can't you just sew it?
Did you have to think
You
that
need to
through? Okay.
tell us how you want it to look. Oh, okay. So then I had to illustrate it, sketch it, draw it out. You know, I even went to the store and I saw a bag that had kind of like the similar type of stitching. It wasn't the same bag, but in regards to the zipper. And so like took a picture of like that one little section and said like, you know, kind of like this, but like my drawing, but kind of like this, you know, and then it was like, great, we got it. And then made it and sent it to me. And I was like, oh, I love it. Thank you.
What a journey. Well, one, I'm very impressed with the idea that you've involved your family. So it's a family project as well, not just yours. Because what I've noticed is sometimes, not always, but when a spouse launches a business, it's usually solo, right? It's a solo act. And then eventually the relationship begins to part because they're so busy doing their individual business or work. But in this case, you've involved not only your husband, but your son. So it's a very collaborative endeavor.
Yeah.
And that's a great idea. And I think it's working out even better during, you know, our times today when we're all somewhat forced to be home, right?
Mhm.
More than less.
Yes.
Yeah. But, you know, I want to really dive into the creative process because the work that I've seen, the marketing campaigns that you've released, they're just eye-opening, jaw-dropping, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, they were very stimulating. So I want to talk about that. I'm just going to pass the floor to you if you want to kind of share with how the idea came about and what was it like to develop that marketing campaign because it looked like you had a lot of fun.
I did, and that's where the artistic side of it came out even more, because with the first handbag we did was the kintsugi design, and what for
Can
those
you explain Suji?
what kintsugi is it's a Japanese art form. Also in China they do it as well, but it's something else, and I can't remember the word. I'm so sorry. But what the art form is that it takes broken pottery, and the artist will glue it back together and then infuse the cracks with gold. And the theory behind it is that the pottery is now more resilient, stronger, and more beautiful for the history that it's gone through as to what caused the break. You know,
sounds so beautiful. It's so
yeah.
beautiful.
Well, and I love that idea behind it, because it also applies towards us. You know, there is not one person out there in this world who has not had a break, who has not had that one moment where they are crying, sobbing on the floor and wondering, how am I going to get through this?
Right.
Right. And but the thing is that after that, many people, not many, I shouldn't say many, because that's putting somebody in a box. Some believe as though I'm broken now, no one's going to care about me because I'm not perfect. none of us are perfect. No one is perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect. But now you have a history of strength because you made it through it to give to someone else.
Yeah, the word perfect, I was thinking about, correct, there is no destination, perfect destination, but there's a journey to reach perfection. And that's really all there is. You'll never get there.
Yeah.
It's just a pursuit, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so along the way, you'll go through lots of bumps and bruises. And that really tells the story of your journey. And hopefully you have the bumps and bruises, to help really fully describe your journey and story.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And it goes along with something I always tell my son. I always tell my son, "What do we do when we fall?" And he always responds to me, "We get back up." And I was like, "That's exactly what we do." And so going back to the kintsugi
Yes.
pattern,
Hmm.
I decided that I love the look of it, and I love the look of it. And so I designed handbags with it. Going to the photo shoot, that's why if you look in the photo shoot, all of the models have these gold cracks running through their face. And I wanted that, and I even talked to the makeup artist about it and told her like, this is the look that I want, because in my marketing, as part of the marketing, it's to let people understand the reason why I designed the handbag. And it's that with all these cracks and everything, it's all of us. We all have these cracks underneath the surface, and they're all infused with gold, and all of us are more beautiful with our cracks, And it's so funny
Gives
though,
me
because
shivers. Uh-huh.
yeah, but what's so funny is that the day of the photo shoot, I chose this location because it had beautiful skylights, lots of natural lighting. It had this giant wall of glass that all this light can come through. I wanted it bright, I wanted it airy, and it rained the whole day. It rained the whole day. We still made it work, and I'm so thankful for the team that came that day, because this was my very first photo shoot. I had, you said, a family affair. My niece, Jessica, was the one who assisted me with getting everything together. She also assisted me with their clothing, everything, etc. Like, because a lot of people don't realize that with a photo shoot, that you want to truly claim as your own, and letting everyone know, you will have to style everyone. Get someone to do their makeup. Get someone to do their hair.
It's a whole
Because
production.
then
It's a whole
it's
production.
a whole production, because then everything will stay on brand with what you want to do. And if you are investing money into a photo shoot, invest further into making sure that everything you're investing will be on brand.
What
And
you're saying, Marisol, is music to my ears.
well, a lot of people don't realize that, because whenever we were finding our models and everything, a lot of the models were like, "Oh, okay, well, what colors do you want me to wear?" I'm like, no, baby, no. We're gonna have clothes there for you. You need to let me know your sizes. Oh, okay. All right. Well, how do you want me to do my hair? No, baby. We're gonna have a hairdresser, and because I know your next question is gonna be makeup. A makeup artist will be there to do your face too. I want you to just come up with your hair washed, no makeup, your blue jeans and t-shirts totally fine. Make sure your underwear is a nude or light color
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
that won't show through my clothing. And we're even providing your shoes. So just come as you are, and we're going to take care of the rest. And I, again, very, very thankful, because the models that we had who came were all helpful, thoughtful, kind to each other. They were helping each other get dressed. The hairdresser was even helping some of them get zipped up and dressed. No one had any sort of a diva attitude, and I was so thankful, because when I was younger, I actually did modeling, as very young, and I would come on to some of these photo shoots, and girl, there were some divas. And so I'm very thankful. In fact, one of the models even helped me unload my car, because I brought a chair and everything, and she was over there unloading the car, taking things into the studio, all of that, and
Strong work ethics.
strong work ethics. So because of this, the majority of the models I used for the first shoot, I used for the second shoot, because I knew everyone worked well together, everyone liked each other, and I want my shoots to run smoothly. Because another thing people don't realize is the photos that you see, that was a 5-hour shoot. It took us 5 hours to do makeup, hair, lighting, etc., fighting with the fact it was raining. Unfortunately, the roof started leaking. So we had to quickly move lights so nobody got electrocuted.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was so glad I brought like a big thing of paper towels, which now is commodity anyway. But I was so thankful I brought a huge thing of paper towels, because yeah, I was on the floor wiping off water so nobody slipped, cracked their head open and everything. And it was definitely an experience. And one of the models even came last minute, because unfortunately one of the models we had scheduled, her father ended up in the emergency room, and so she wasn't able to attend. And of course I'm so sorry, and we completely understand. Family comes first. We will always believe that family comes first. I am never ever going to get mad at somebody, if something happens in their family, which coincidentally happened on the next shoot. The girls, her mother had been in the emergency room and she had to take her to therapy, and her mom didn't have anyone else to take her. And we were like, you know what, sweetheart, don't even worry. We completely understand. And so scrambling at the last minute, luckily the makeup artist knows people, because makeup artist, she works with models, and so she was able to send pictures and call, and what about this person, what do you think about this person, and we would have the pictures. Okay, we like her, is she available, and again, very thankful for those who have showed up last minute, and we're very kind to work with. So for our second photo shoot, and again, it's always about the art with me. The design of the handbag is Alice in Wonderland. So with the handbag, if you look on it, everything that's on here are all elements of Alice in Wonderland. You have the teapot, you have the white rabbit, you have the watch, the roses, the Mad Hatter's top hat, the hedgehog, all of the elements of Alice in Wonderland. So our photo shoot was Wonderland. The first photo shoot, my son did not go because he's 7, and I didn't want a 7-year-old running around, possibly knocking the light over, etc. But with Alice in Wonderland, he wanted so badly to be a part of the photo shoot that he was insistent to me that he was going to be there. He's like, it is our company, Mom, and I'm going to be there. So I was like, okay, but I'm telling you right now, if your father's going with me, because he's going to help, and if you go, you work. He's like, I'm going to work, Mom, don't worry. I'm going to set up the little room. And I told him, I said, nope, you're going to be the white rabbit. The what? And so I had to show him the white rabbit in the story and everything. I said, you're going to be the white rabbit. And he's like, okay, I can be the white rabbit. I can do that. He was in it. He was in it. Everybody was just so amazed by how well he took instruction. When we told him, like, okay, them falling down the rabbit hole, they are laying on a black sheet. Okay. And we just threw like flowers all around them. And I told him, you're going to be like this, like you're holding the handbag, and it's going to be kind of like, ha, because you took the handbag from Alice, and Alice is going to be above you, and she's trying to grab that handbag from you. I said, so you're going to lay there, and Mommy's going to make it look like you're falling down the rabbit hole. And he did. He laid so still. He held the handbag, and then over here he held his little clock, and we made the clock look like it was falling also. And we placed Alice, and he stayed in position the whole time while we were placing Alice, fixing her dress, fixing her hair. Because, when you lay on the floor, you had to fix everything, adjusting her dress so her tetas weren't coming out and everything.
So you created an illusion as if they were falling. Yeah. That's pretty cool. And your son is so precocious.
Yes, he's always moving. Always moving. So we were very surprised. And then I was going to only have him falling down the rabbit hole because I wasn't sure how he would do with instruction. And he was very insistent. He was going to be part of the tea party. And so we had to adjust the models and everything so that he was part of the tea party. And again, he sat there, he held his little teacup, he was talking to everybody, you know, during the whole photo shoot and everything. And picture, you know, and we actually got some really good pictures and everything. And then of course we wanted some one-on-ones of each one of the characters holding one of the handbags with a Wonderland backdrop. And so we did all of those. And what I did is I photoshopped in butterflies all around them. Going back to falling down the rabbit hole, of course, the grass and everything on the image was photoshopped in. And then I also photoshopped in a few petals in motion. So this way it would give a little bit of movement to the imagery. And then we did Alice outgrowing the room because, you know, as everyone who knows the story, I believe it's when she drinks the potion, she grows big. And when she eats the cake, she grows small. So she drank the potion and now she grew big. And so originally we were going to do Alice on a green screen. And then we were going to just Photoshop in a room behind her. And we were just going to get a stock photo from like iStock Photo and do that. But I had actually done a photo shoot, again, modeling, where they did a green screen on me. And whatever I was wearing, part of the green kind of reflected onto my clothing. And so you had this green tint to me. And it wasn't cohesive, like with the background and with me with the final image. So I remembered all of that from when I did that photo shoot and everything. And then the more I thought of it, the more I thought it'd be better if we built a little room and for her to be in the little room so we can control the lighting in that room. We can control the lighting of the room, control the lighting of Alice, and it would look more cohesive. I won't have to worry about any sort of green tint to her when we go to like edit the images or anything like that. So we built the room, and my son was very integral with that too. It took us an entire day to make that room. I had to search for all of the parts before we even made the room. So the windows are actually dollhouse windows. We cut a hole in the cardboard, stuck the window in there, put vellum on the back so that you can't see the background through the window, and had like some lighting for the windows as well. Ordered the furniture, doll size furniture. I had to do a 1/6 scale, I think it's 1/6 scale furniture. I could not find a rug, 1/6 scale rug. So it's actually a mouse pad. So that's a mouse pad for the rug. I found an artist in England that makes little mini books, and she had Alice in Wonderland. So for one of the little books that have fallen, I put the Alice in Wonderland there. And then of course, Jess, who assisted me on this shoot as well, she found little china sets and everything. And she found it at a secondhand store. Like she just happened to be in a resale shop. She was looking for things in regards to the shoot and all of that. And there they were. It was kismet. They were $1. It was $1 for the whole set, you know. And she she texted me and you know, told me she was just like, do you want to get them? I'm like, for $1, pick them up. Pick up however many they have, and we'll figure it out when we get there. Then same thing. Like I had to fireplace, had to like paint the fireplace to make it match. The wallpaper is gift wrap. The wood floor is gift wrapped as well. So I just glued gift wrap on there, and then had to smooth it out in Photoshop, which I'm not sure if I did a really good job smoothing it, but did my best. And so, and the idea of the little room actually came from my Jess. She was the one who suggested us doing a photo shoot with that. She found a picture on Pinterest, and she said, "Wouldn't it look amazing if?" And I was completely on board. I'm like, "Yes, let's do that." And then it went from there. And so yeah. So there's a lot of work that went into the imagery for the branding of the Alice in Wonderland and the photo shoot. But again, if you are investing in a photo shoot for your product, make sure that it's on brand. Take the time to do it, because that entire photo shoot, we were there for the entire day. We rented out that studio, and I believe we rented it out for 6 hours, and we were there for 6 hours. So yeah,
it's easy. People think, oh, I can do it in an hour or two, but
yeah,
it takes an hour or two just to set up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and
just to get the makeup and hair.
yeah, and it took us 3 months beforehand to bring everything in. We brought in all their outfits, we styled them. The Mad Hatter, I had someone make that wig.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a wonderful person that is in Los Angeles, Billy Lamore. And I found this person on Etsy. Went to Etsy looking for custom wigs, and people who will make you a custom wig. Sent the picture, got this beautiful wig for my Mad Hatter because I didn't want the Mad Hatter to look like everyone else's Mad Hatter. I wanted my Mad Hatter different, you know, and out there and original. And so that's why the hat is small, the hair is out there,
Yeah.
roses in the hair, everything. You know, the outfit as well. A very tailored look, but still somewhat androgynous, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
feel as though our Mad Hatter is either way, you know. And I don't like putting labels on people, and in fact my model refers to themselves as they them. And again, I'm an old woman, so I've been having to train myself not to refer to someone in regards to a specific gender, because I'm very much aware that um, it's it's who you are here and here, you know. And,
Mm-hmm.
but training myself, it's been a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone be patient with me. So,
Right. We're still learning, you know,
yeah, we're still
I'm
learning.
still learning
Yeah,
also. So sometimes I'm confused who I am. So keeping
yeah.
up with someone else is another job. Wow, that's fantastic. So when do you plan to launch your new handbags? Can't wait to see them.
Well, okay, so going with the pandemic and everything, we were doing all of this beautiful imagery because we were going to put together a crowdfunding campaign. But with the pandemic occurring, everyone is in arrears. Everyone is struggling. You know, not just struggling with what do I do at home, but struggling with how am I going to pay my bills. You know, we are having some relief through our government and other outlets, etc. But that relief isn't going to come immediately. You know, it's going to be a while for stimulus checks to come in. It's going to be a while for, you know, in any sort of help to kind of come in. And right now, people need things now. And so we felt as though trying to do a crowdfund at this time would be in poor taste, honestly, especially with everyone going through everything. So what we've decided to do is we've decided to go ahead and put our images out there, and we're accepting pre-orders on our website for those who may be able to buy themselves a handbag and they're looking for a handbag and want to go ahead and get it. And we would be very, very thankful for your pre-order. Just bear in mind that we probably will not be able to produce the handbag until after the pandemic. Only because some of the manufacturers who provide the materials for the handbag are kind of shut down, New York, New Jersey, you know?
But, you know, you made an important, very, very important point. They're all US based.
Yes.
That's
Everything
huge. That's
on the
huge.
handbag, yeah, is
Mhm.
US based. The vegan leather that I have digitally printed, the parent company is in the UK, but all of the vegan leather that is printed for us, since we're here in the States, is actually from their location in the States. So even our vegan leather is here in the States. The inside fabric is here in the States. Our manufacturer is in New Jersey. All of the zippers, the D-rings, um, all of that is from a manufacturer that's in Ohio. I'm trying to think of everything that goes into the bag. I said zippers. I said, yeah, everything is here in the USA.
Okay. So
Yeah,
from,
and
you
we
know,
made a point to source here in the USA.
yeah. So from sourcing to manufacturing to, you know, marketing and distributing, it's all US based.
Mhm.
So that's fantastic because, you know, we need to help our fellow small businesses as
Yeah,
much as possible. Yeah.
absolutely. Yes. Yes.
And for all of us to support you when possible. and upgrade our fashion taste.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think you and I were going to talk about like what things we're doing during the pandemic. And one of the things that we're actually doing during the pandemic, of course, I have a small son, so along with doing his schoolwork and all of that, we're actually working on new designs, and and still continuing to move forward and everything, so that whenever everything does go back to normal, because we will go back to normal, it'll be our new normal, but everything, we'll make it through this. Our country is a very strong country. We all believe in each other. We all unite when we need to, and when all of this is said and done, we will unite again. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and so everyone who's watching this, because you see on Facebook, there are people who do get scared. There are people who do get concerned and worried. Everything is going to be okay.
I agree.
Yes, yes. And but
Mhm.
so those who have small businesses and you're concerned and you're worried, stay productive. Stay productive. Artists, keep designing, keep doing your artwork, keep drawing, because when everything is said and done, the opportunity is still going to be there. Your opportunity will still be there. And so that's what we're doing. We're actually, my son brings me sketches because we still do the loveys. And that's a different division of Baxter-Graham, which is going to be Baxter-Graham Kids. And so he brings me sketches every day, and we work on it and everything. And then of course I'm designing my own designs and all of that. And I'm trying to think also, like, because we do his schoolwork during the day, then we take a break, and we go outside. We do like his PE, which has been great for me, because it's kept me healthy. Also running around and like doing soccer and all that stuff and everything, and then we come back in, and that's when we usually like sketch, design, etc. And then of course dinner, bath, bed, and life moves on.
Yeah. So we're going to also talk about, following this is life after, right? It's going to get better. This is just as worse as it's going to get, and it's going to only improve from here. So with that, what are you going to take with you with the experiences, that you've had?
Well,
yeah.
So one of the things that I'm going to take with me is that, and I told you this before, I'm kind of an introvert, and most artists are usually introverts.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you so much for having me do this, because it's pulling me out of my shell. And so one of the things I'm going to take with me is that I need to be more visible in regards to also not just promoting my products, but also promoting myself as part of the brand. It's going to be a struggle. Only because everybody goes through this, where you look in the mirror and like you see all of your flaws. No one else probably sees them, but you see them. And so I definitely am going to have to like get past that. Yeah. And just be a little bit more visible and talk more about my product. In fact, right now we're working on a 30-second commercial, because now with everybody being inside and home, all of our branding, our marketing is going to have to be like, as we see now, through interviews, through commercials, not just advertisements, all of that. So in fact, we were very blessed that the makeup artist for the last shoot, he helps out at his church. And it was the beginning of the pandemic for Houston. And so a lot of places had started closing down. Well, his church, because we did it on a Sunday, and his church had decided not to do services that day because they didn't want everyone to be exposed. And again, this is before we even had the stay at home, stay 6 feet from each other. This was just something his church decided to do. And anyway, very thankful, because he is a videographer. And so his wife, who was our makeup artist, called us that morning. My husband really wants to be a part of the shoot. He would like to just come and watch us. Is that okay? I don't want to intrude. And for us, we're like, it's completely fine. I just have this thing that if you come, you work. I said, so ask your husband to bring his camera. and ask him to like film behind the scenes work, so that maybe possibly we can use it at a later date. You never know, you know. And this idea was even given to me by another person, Shelley Roth. And Shelley and I had met to discuss their new book and doing their book cover. And while we were talking and everything, because I've known Shelley for 10 years, that's when the idea came about. Well, you need to have somebody shoot it behind the scenes. I'm like, well, I'm not really gonna be able to do that because I'm gonna be hustling the whole day, and my husband's gonna be helping me. And they were just letting me know, well, hire somebody. Well, it's last minute because it was the week before the shoot. You know, I'm not gonna be able to find anybody. So the universe provided me with someone. And so now with the pandemic and the extent of it and how long it's lasted, again, I like to keep moving forward. So I contacted my Jessica, and I told her, get a hold of Charlie, let him know all that, everything he filmed while he was there. We want to do a 30-second commercial, find out how much it is that he would charge for it, tell him to send us an invoice, and let's move forward, and let's put a 30-second commercial together. And I told her, I said, this is going to be your project. So you put together a storyboard, you put together, you know, how you view the commercial to be. You talk to Charlie about it, you organize the whole thing, present it to me. I'll let you know my thoughts and how I feel. And it was Jessica who was telling me, she's like, well, I want you to do a voiceover. No, nobody wants to hear my voice. No, that's okay. And she's like, no, people need to hear your voice. You know, I want you to do a voiceover. You know?
Yeah.
And then I had my 7-year-old who overheard the conversation even telling me, no, Mom, you do need to do the voiceover, you know. And I was just like, okay, you know, I will do the voiceover. Everyone's telling me to do it, and then that's okay. And I gave Jessica that project because then that frees me to focus on other things. And I needed to get the website done. And so I focused on getting the website done. I'm focusing on getting our catalog together so that this way we can send out a catalog for pre-orders to touch all of those that I cannot touch during my social media. It allowed me to also put together my Facebook ads, my Instagram ads, because I need to get the word out there in regards to my product. And I've told people this for years, because before, long ago, and this is how we met, doing websites and working with small businesses, I used to always tell people, it's not like the movie where if you build it, they will come. It doesn't happen. Like, you can have a nice storefront, but nobody's going to show up if you don't tell them where it is, you know? And that's why you need your website. That's why you need all of these different things. You have to advertise, etc., because you need to let people know that you're out there. And so
to create that visibility.
Yes. And so giving Jess that project freed me to work on these other things so that we can move forward with our advertising and let people know the exciting thing that we're doing.
Very exciting, very exciting. So where can someone go to pre-order your product?
Baxter-Graham.com.
Okay, Baxter-Graham.com.
Yeah, and it's a Graham like the Graham cracker.
It will be listed on the video for sure. So that's okay. So they can go online right now and pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
That will be very exciting. So what's next immediately for you, Marisol? I know it sounds like you got a lot on your plate.
You know, it's funny because for me, it's just a normal Friday. You know? But I talking to other people and letting them know like what it is that I'm doing, I get that a lot. Like, wow, you have a lot on your plate. You do all of that, plus you have your son, you know, plus this, plus that. And for me, I'm like, yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, honestly, I think it also stems from growing up very poor. And so I always had to work 2 or 3 jobs. So I think I got used to always being busy.
Mm-hmm. Having a strong work ethic.
Having a strong work ethic. Because like, you know, you have, starting out in life, sometimes you do have to work 2 or 3 jobs in order to even make ends meet or to save money.
Right.
And yeah, so even to this day, I still sometimes take side design work,
Mm-hmm.
so that this way I can have some money in the bank to help fund other ventures, you know. And you know what's really crazy, and what I found is that I've also found with certain people that I've run across, they find out that I do these side jobs, these side works, this side everything. Oh, well then your business must not be doing that well. No, that has nothing to do with it. I just always want to make sure I have money coming in.
Right.
You know, and you want to have multiple streams of revenue. And
Mm-hmm.
for anyone who is starting out with your company, your business, do not let other people try to naysay your dream. And the reason why I say this is because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to tell you all the things that could go wrong.
Right.
Things are going to go wrong. Stuff's going to mess up. You're going to have setbacks. But just like I tell my son, what do we do when we fall? You get back up. You get back up and you keep moving forward, and you don't listen to anyone out there, because the thing is that they did not have the courage to try. You did. And you have to stay strong and stay brave, and you're going to do it. And people are not successful because they never fail. They're successful because they never give up. Don't give up.
Who quoted that, Marisol? We talked about this.
My husband.
Okay.
And it was on one of those days where I was just having a day.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have a great companion there, you know, and what you just shared is very powerful, especially today during these times, because people who are just impulsively, I use that word, impulsively laid off, you know, their lives just changed overnight, just overnight.
Yeah. Yes.
And I know some are at a loss because they have been doing what they're doing for, you know, so many years or months, but that was what they did. That was their income. And to lose it overnight, it's very understandable that it's very confusing now. But with
Yes.
your advice that having multiple streams of income is crucial. So if an individual doesn't have one because they relied on one maybe that is no longer there, well, it's important, like you said, to get back up and create not only one more, but multiple. So try multiple projects, right? And try to generate incomes from it. And eventually one's going to uh, grow and become bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you are one of the epitomes of a success story, because I've known you for many years, and I know you've witnessed me evolve as much as I've witnessed you evolve. And I'm very proud of our friendship because you have the spirit of perseverance, you know, and that's an influence to me. So.
Yeah. Well, right back at you, honestly, because we have known each other for over a decade. We've known each other, and yeah, it same thing. I am very proud of you. I'm always proud of all of your accomplishments, and it's so funny because like whenever I talk to people and everything, and I'm like, oh yeah, with Vivian, you know, I always tell them, I was like, yeah, she's won awards, she's been published in books, you know, and most people are like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah. And I even have like some of the books where you've been published and everything. I'm like, yeah, she's right here. I'm like,
You're too kind. Thanks, Marisol. Well, so with that, let's wrap up our discussion so we can have an offline conversation. Go back to that. And again, just remind our audience that they can pre-order your handbags for women for now, but eventually you're going to be rolling out designs for men and
yes.
kids. So that's really very, very exciting. Can't wait to see those.
Yes.
And they can go to Baxter-Graham.com.
Yes.
Okay, and it's going to be listed under the video. Okay, thank you so much, Marisol, for your time. And we'll do this again.
Okay.
Okay, all right, bye.
Bye.